All right, welcome everybody to Egret Final Project Presentations Night 1 for the React class. We're so excited to have you here. But it's a huge sigh of relief to be to this point, and an even bigger sigh of relief once you're done with your presentation, either tonight or tomorrow night. Thank you also for the mentors that are joining us and for all of your hard work throughout the course to help our students make the amazing projects that we're all about to see. And let me just check and see. I don't see Chung on yet. Natalia, are you comfortable going and rocking and rolling and starting us off tonight?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and screen share whenever you're ready, and we will sit back and enjoy the presentation.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yep, everything looks great.
Okay. So this is my small application. I've made a small logo, so it's to be more prevalent to me. And this is navigation bar, which let us see which we may choose. And the chosen one also has a different color, so it would be easy to see which list you are working with. Here we can add new item, like and it's sorting alphabetically right away. Also, we can delete some items. I've made the zebra style for more easier reading, for easier correlation between text and button for wider screens, but it also works for smaller screens. I also added a little inspiration quotes, which are fetching and then printing out in random order every time it's re-rendered. So that's basically it. The funniest part was I like actually adding CSS when it turns from black and white list into something colored and shaped. And the most difficult part was then I was writing code for adding item. I had no instructions, and it made me crazy to understand how to transfer curl Airtable examples into React form. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I found the site which helps with that, and yeah, I think it was the most difficult. That's it.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions?
Just one for me. Do you use an API for the quotes, or do you just have a hard-coded list in your project?
No, it's fetching from Airtable as well.
Okay, so you have it in Airtable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions or comments from classmates or mentors?
Job. Nice.
Awesome. Okay, great
I
work,
love
Natalia.
your logo also. It's just beautiful, and even the zebra that she did, I like that.
Yeah, I like the logo too. That was such an
Yeah.
interesting to do or not to do. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Natalia. Wonderful. All right. I still don't see Chung on board yet, so we are going to proceed on to Munir. So Munir, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and
Sure.
screen share and get rolling. Thanks.
Let me start with sharing screen. Okay. So at the last week, I decided to change the look of the application, and I was looking for inspirations. I happened upon the Microsoft's to-do list, and it was very simple and good. So I tried to replicate their design, but of course I did my own touches. So this is the menu here. I have three main tables: work, personal, and gaming. And these are the side tables that are coming out of these three. So for example, if I go for today and add a task, I'll actually, yeah. So if I add a task, like I can set to do time, like due by today, tomorrow, or the end of the day. That's at today, and then you just add it. It will ask you to which category you want to add it, personal, gaming, or work. I'll put it to personal. Okay, and then it will be there. I think it should, oh, yeah, here it is, clean my room. And you can sign it off as complete. And then if you go to the complete section here, you will see it, clean my room. And if you want it to be important, so you can put the star and it will be also important. And then you can go to the important section and it will be there. You can delete it by pressing here, and it will ask you if you want to delete or no. So you can delete it. And then I have this another API which calls for weather, and you can check today's weather. This actually gets the location from the browser and then sets it up for the API call and does the call for that. And then I have set up themes for the application, which you can change to different themes. And of course, different fonts. Or you can best go back to default. And it is responsive. So basically for iPad and smaller screen, it works. For iPhones, I just changed the location of the tab. So in here, you can just again do the same thing over here. This is the weather. You can sign in. It's not functional, but still you have the sign in form. It's not functional yet, but it's there. And then again, same thing here. You can choose this for you. These are the things. So my favorite part was I had a lot of fun learning new things, and especially last week, I tried a lot of different things, did a lot of different styles, and it was very fun. And the most challenging thing for me was the state management. I'm still working on it. Elliot helped me a lot with use context and everything, but still, I think there is a lag still there. And I did some research last night, and I think there has to be use reducer to manage the states, more complex states that I have here. Yep, that's more or less it. Any questions?
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very good job.
Cool. Did you use any type
Thank
of
you.
framework for this, or
Yes, I
okay.
use React Bootstrap.
Bootstrap? Okay.
Just for
Yep.
these, just for the models. Like
Mhm.
these models are Bootstrap, React Bootstrap.
It's very cool, man. Good
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
And for CSS, did you use library or you created on your own? Like,
No, the CSS I made my own just for the models, the pop-up models for the for this one and for the sign-in. Just these two are from Bootstrap. The rest I did myself.
oh, okay, nice. Beautiful.
Definitely smart choice in having the responsive menu down at the bottom. Makes me think of the new update on iPhone, how they moved the browser URL to the bottom.
Yes, I had the same idea. I got the same idea from there.
Very clean UI. Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This
All right,
looks
good
great.
job.
I have a few questions.
Yes, I did.
So first, the sort. Can you share that operating, and then also what are you sorting by?
No, the sort is not operational, so I couldn't. I wasn't
No problem.
able to do that.
And then I wanted to ask about, you had due date as an input on the today
Yes.
list, but I don't see it on the other list. So is that the only place you can add a due date? And what happens if you add a task from somewhere else?
Well, the task is doesn't matter wherever you add it from. It will ask you the same question from today, from every.
Okay, so when you click on the form, it reveals the other inputs.
Yes, it will. You will choose the 3 categories from here.
Gotcha. My third question was going to be, was there a reason for choosing to put the category in a modal versus just also having it in the form as a drop-down menu?
Yes, well, it's easier to use a model, so that's the main reason. But I have that Microsoft to-do list available as well, open as well. So my idea was to have something like this, where you can add different things, reminders and everything. But it, due to lack of time, I wasn't able to, since I just started working on this design last week. It was very packed for me last week, so full of last week. So I couldn't add those features in time. But I'm working on to improving it. So I will use the use state for state management user reducer, and of course some more tweaks to the design.
Cool. And then, yeah, I'm interested on your implementation for the theming and everything, but I can look into your code and ask more questions there. But great job, above and beyond. Yep.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks, Manir. Next up is going to be Vaidehi. And like I said, please correct me if I'm saying your names wrong at any point.
No, you're saying it correctly. No
Okay,
problem.
thanks.
Okay, so this is my site, and so this is a logo I created, and here when it loads, it shows me like these are the lists that I have, and it shows me which list has the priority items. I'm not giving the count, so these two don't have any priority, this one has. And here you can, this is a list, you can sort it by title, which already when it loads, it's already sorting by title. Then you can do it by priority, and then if you don't want, you can do it by this. If you take, if I go here and which doesn't have a priority, and if you put it, it shows here now that this particular list will have something priority. You can come here, you can say add a item, and you add here, it gets added on the list, and you want to delete it, it gets deleted. If you go here, there are like, and every here it only shows like 5 items at a time every page. Now there are 2 pages, and if I add another item here, it goes to the 3rd page. It's here, it will show here because it gets when it loads, it sorts by title. That's why it's showing here. Then you can change the color themes like this, in blue or even black, like that. It is responsive to in this, and if I go to here, then it will show like this. Let me change it to here, and this is how it will show here. And is there anything else? Yeah, I think that is pretty much what this I have created. Another thing, the difficult part was this. For me, the struggling was this the start thing, the priority thing, because it moved from like the to-do list all the way up to the app, and then it went into the nav bar. Like, you know, there was like a big routing thing I had to do, which was like for me, I struggled a bit, but that but it was fun because I learned a lot of things. And this theme thing, when I created, I actually thought it will be very difficult in the beginning, but when I went through it, it's not that it wasn't that difficult, and I had fun, like, you know, playing with these different colors. So that is what I like. And another thing is, like, I added like this little feature like disabled here. So if I'm on the first, this is a start, and this is directly end, so it takes you to the 3rd one, and then this button gets disabled. And in the beginning, this button is disabled. And if you enter like empty space and you try to add anything, it won't add because I did the trim on the to-do, on the new to-do list. Yeah, that's it. That's about
great.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Vidai. I have a quick question. When you're adding an item, can you also mark it as priority? Because I see the priority with a star to the right.
Oh no, this is only to show that, like, to tell people.
Yeah, like a key.
What this? Yeah, key, like a mark. Yeah.
Perfect. Great.
Okay.
Very, very nice. Anybody else have any questions or comments or anything?
Looks very good.
Very- Yeah,
Thank you.
nice. I remember when you were working on the star thing.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And the star is like, that was a new thing that I learned, because this is a SVG image. And then I got this image as a component, and that's how I work, which was a new thing. This was also everything. There are a lot of new things that I learned, but this was the first time, instead of icon, I'm using this. And I felt it was very nice, because then I could change the fill colors.
Nice.
So originally it was like this, then I'm changing the fill color, because with normal one it was struggling. So, and I could change the height and everything with the SVG image.
You should write an article about how you did that, post it on the internet because somebody might need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
cool.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we can move on to Perry. You are up next.
Sorry, guys, I'm really under the weather, so just okay. So I kept mine pretty simple. I always thought of a to-do list as a knockout list, so I kind of changed the wording to that a little bit, like targets. And I kept it into 3 categories: personal, work, and then intentions are things that I see along the way that I'd like to do one day. I put down, let's see, it adds here. And then I can remove it with these buttons. I did a free class with Flatiron on CSS and we learned how to do beveled buttons, which I think added some texture. And they're going to have an animation class next, which I'd like to do, but yeah, that was it. I changed it. I made it responsive in that when it gets smaller, the lists, the to-dos turn to white, so that because with the purple tones, it gets lost in the gray. So yeah, that's it. And that's about it. I think for me, I struggled a lot this term. I had a really hard time with props, trying to figure out some of them. I went through the process of deconstructing some of them, and some of them I left the same. And I kind of got lost on where some of them were coming from and what some of them meant. So I still am struggling with props, and I'm gonna work on that over the break. I really enjoyed learning how to style through with the modules. That made a lot of sense to me, to have them connected to another file and to a component, and then keeping that for that and separate. I liked that. I often will get in trouble when I try to style globally. So I liked that idea, and that working with the modules. So that's it.
Great work, Perry. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. Yeah, I do love the POW buttons. Lori had said that in the chat as well too, but those are fun.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Perry?
Great work, Perry. I know you worked hard on this, so
Thank you. Thank you for all your help, Gaetan. And
no problem, man.
baby, thank you for all your help too.
My pleasure. Sorry you're not feeling well today.
Yeah, we hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Ignat, you're up next. Are they on? Hold on. I think, yeah. There we go. I don't hear any sound though. There we go. Now we can hear you.
So this is the landing page. I have two lists, personal and work, and the router. So the landing page offers to select one of the list from the menu. For example, this is the personal to-do list, and the routing goes that way, that either something, whatever that is not personal or work, will return to the landing page that offers again to keep the to-do list. So it's responsive. I chose the iPad width as a narrow that goes like a desktop version, and yeah, the Nest devices also works like a desktop, and the narrowest device was probably Galaxy Fold, which is kind of a vertical line. Yeah, the other difference between mobile version is that in the version we have the pointer when we hover over the buttons, and they have kind of transitioning time in milliseconds. And since we don't have the cursor in mobile, it works just when the button is active. Yeah, I can demonstrate the delete button, for example. And also there is a checking for the adding an empty to-do title, which it doesn't allow. And also demonstrate adding some to-do. And it goes sorting with ascending order. I don't have like the switching between the types of the sorting yet, but yeah, I have idea how to implement that. Yeah, also the most challenging part, as Perry said, I would agree with him that it was a props concept and state hook management. And I probably don't need to mention the CSS styling, but sometimes when we have like menu buttons that are nested into hyperlink element, that nested into the division element, that nested into navigation, it was kind of overlapping the margins and paddings, and it was really hard to align them in the menu. But I would say that the styling is very fun, and probably the last week the appearance pretty much changed. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ignat. Anybody have any questions or comments? Well done.
What's the name of that font? Because I love the font that you use there.
I use Valera. I imported the Valera round.
Varela, okay.
Varela.
Family, and I use material icons, which are like the text on the buttons, but they look like icons.
Looks great.
Really useful.
Like the layout too. Very nice.
Yeah, I used actually this font from the previous project, which was the portfolio, and the styling, as you can see, pretty much similar with the blocks.
Yeah. Very cool.
Great. Thanks again, Ignat. Any other questions or comments? Good. All right. Well done. All right. Our last presenter tonight is Omar, unless Chung joins us. So Omar, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Do you see my screen?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay. So this is the logo that I created for the app. And then I was thinking to have like when you get inside the app is it has like the same like this button. Then you start creating a table from scratch instead of having some static tables like this. I'm still working on it, almost halfway to finish. So I couldn't have it, the feature ready to represent it. So those are the tables that it's like static tables. All of them have the same features. It shows the counts and the sorting. So I try to add like if it's completed task, then it shows here like responding to the Airtable. And then I added the last feature here is like deleting everything here, every item inside the table. So if I just, everything goes away. Like you see here, everything is responsive. This is for like if it's, I believe it's tablet. And this is, I think, for a small screens like iPhone, mobile screen. The fun part of it was like being able to connect to the Airtable, to the database, because I haven't worked on database before. The hardest thing I believe is like being able to understand the structure of Airtable, like being able to understand, like all of you understand what I'm gonna say now. It's like the records and this inside the records, the fields, and inside the fields, the items, all of that. It was really new for me, and it's just like it took a while for me to understand and just like being able to put it in code. That's all.
Great, thank you, Omar. Job well done. Anybody have any questions or comments?
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very
Wait,
nice.
make sure to put a user prompt on the remove all, right? It's easy to just hit it and get rid of all of your items at once when you don't want to do that, right?
Yes, yes.
Very cool. Good job.
Yeah.
What
this
about
is-
sorting? Does it work?
Yes. So if you hear,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So, and the checkbox, the tick one, is that that complete thing? Or
Say it again.
the next to the delete each item you do tick is
So
So
when
it says
there
that
is a green,
completed.
it's completed. Yeah, correct. So if you go here and that's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that covered my 2 comments. So I was going to recommend adding a confirmation modal or dialogue to that remove, because I could very easily see accidentally tabbing to that and losing my whole list. It's something where you can say yes or no. And then the icon, I think, could cause confusion if you're not familiar with which check is the check, right? Because they both have check marks. So maybe changing that icon to be a square when it's not complete, and then to be a check square when it is complete might reduce confusion with that.
Got it.
But otherwise, I think this looks really great. It's giving me very like academic kind of like I like the colors, and it's very like newspapery academic kind of aesthetic. I think it looks nice.
Thank you. Should I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, that's fine. You can stop sharing now, Omar. Great. Any other questions or comments or feedback from students or anything that you'd like to share since we're all together in one place?
I have a question for everyone. Is anybody actually using their to-do list? Are you using it on a regular basis? And how did it work for you?
I am actually using it.
Cool. And did you, by using it yourself, did you learn things that that will influence what else you want to do with it in the future, maybe, or how you'd like to add to the design?
Yes. Basically, like when I started using it, it's like I started to find more bugs. Like the text is looks. If I have more text inside the item, then it's off. Like it's not similar to the other items. Then I have to fix the size of the font. Then if more features is like coming up to my mind when I'm started using it, you know.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you have to add more and more things to your to-do list for your app.
Yes.
Same here, like in my theme, when I click, I forgot to show, but when I click on the checkbox, it strikes off and it shows it's completed, but I would like to have and it goes and updates the database, but I didn't, now I realize like I should have got it as a separate table to show only the completed task, rather than I have to go to each of like the tables to see what is completed and what is not completed, rather than I've just sorted and get it like that. And the last minute I added the edit feature with double clicking, but I realized like there is no way for people to know, like when I look at it, you won't know how to edit if I'm adding something and I want to double click it. I initially felt, because I actually saw that in the Google task, like Keeps, they have that feature and they just double click it and you change it. So I thought like I will also do the same way, like double click a task and you can edit it. But then now I realize like it doesn't strike me every time, I was like, oh, then it's better to have an edit button and do it, because then it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, yeah, the double clicking, I don't know if that's accessible. I think just having the edit is
yeah, because no, it is accessible. Like even in my like all the 3 modes, I'm able to do that. But the thing is, it doesn't strike me that, oh, this is how to edit. Like, if somebody is new to the thing and they want to do it, they will be searching how to edit.
Yeah.
They will not know how to edit.
Not intuitive.
Yeah.
That's such good feedback. It really shows how important it is to use your own thing that you build so you can see how to improve it. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good insight to pick up too, is things like discoverability, because that shows up all the time in the real world. I mean, just last week I was working with one of my teams at work, a different team, giving them feedback on their area, because I had been sort of dog fooding it and using it for them. And they explained an aspect of their chart. And I was like, I had no idea that existed. There was nothing that told me I could do this.
So Jared just used this term dog food. Is everybody familiar with that? People know it. Yeah. When you talk about eating your own dog food, Jared.
Yeah, it means using your own product, so that, like if you're building something, you should use your product to test it out, because it helps like you find out if it works well for your case. So.
If you work for a dog food company, you should be feeding your own dogs the dog food that you're making, or you're eating it yourself.
Awesome. All right. Well, if anybody has any other questions or comments, feel free to share them now. Otherwise, excellent job, everybody. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Really good job. We hope you'll be able to join us tomorrow night so you can see the other presentations. If you're ill, feel better, because you aren't the only one. I had heard from another student or two that they're also feeling poorly. 'Tis the season for colds and flu, so stay healthy and feel better. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Looking forward to see you all tomorrow night. And you're free to go. Thanks. Have a great
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
take
Thank
care,
you.
bye.
Thank
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
good one.
Night, night.